When you came out as lesbian, I lost about 75% of my friends and peer group. When you transitioned, I lost the other 25%.
Uh-huh.
But that's not on you and that's not on me, that's on them.
Hey y'all, I'm Logan. I'm 26 years old and I live in Tennessee. In the spring of 2020, I finally got top surgery to aid in my gender confirmation, and it felt like a dream come true. And then the pandemic happened, and what was supposed to be a month stay at my mom's house for recovery ended up turning into 6. It was awesome though, because she's my biggest supporter, and when she's not spreading love to her congregation, she's out being an activist for other queer folks. I'll be moving out soon, so I decided to sit down with my mom and ask her some questions I've always wanted to know the answers to.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I still
thought
lost.
you picked something else.
All right. Did your child transitioning make you second guess any of your past parenting decisions? If yes, what were they?
Oh my goodness. So I felt like write-offs were a way for you to think about whatever you said or did, and through repetition, just kind of almost like a mantra. There was a write-off in your memory box that really hurt my heart, and it said, I will behave more like a lady or something like that. And it just felt like heaping coals on my own head. All I can say is, at the time, it's what I knew.
I don't have any regrets or anything on how I was raised. I think that you did the best that you could as a 90s mom with the terminology and the language that we had in general for this specific situation. And then when it all did come to light, you know, handled it like how I wanted you and expected you to handle it. What has been the most positive thing about my transitioning, in your opinion?
Middle school and high school were really dark for you. Knowing I can't control it, but at the same time, watching the light in your eyes dim. Every time you put makeup on and you looked at yourself, I sensed a lack of confidence. And then when we had to do the bathing suit, every single summer, picking out a bathing suit, there was a lack of confidence. And everything that you were forced to do that amounted to what we now know as gender expression, it created an incongruence, and I could see it. Middle school, high school, I've always had suspicions that something would happen to you and it wouldn't be good. And living in this world without you is just not something that I ever want to think about. Since transition, and particularly since top surgery, your twinkle is back.
Yeah.
Like, watching you shave, and every once in a while I get a chuckle because you'll look in the mirror and you'll be like, damn, I look good. and you even say that. You have this little thing, you go, damn, I look good. And it's so affirming. But since your transition and looking back on your life, it's like, oh, now this makes a whole lot more sense. Not that I still don't have worries, but I have less worries.
I feel like I am way happier getting to start my hormones and feel like what I get to see in the mirror is real life all the time.
Can you say hi? Can you say hi?
How do you think your childhood was? Good, bad, neutral? Explain.
I think my childhood outwardly was fine. I think internally it sucked really bad. I wore makeup because that's what girls did. I had long hair because that's what girls did. I wore a tight shirt because that's what girls did. And like, it was always just like really hard because I never ever wanted to do any of it. I never wanted to do any of it. I was seen as a girl societally and by everybody else. And because I didn't know what I didn't know, I also saw myself as that. So it was like so confusing because like it made me hate myself a lot. I think that the only reason I am as happy and comfortable and confident and filled with queer love that I've gotten from like other queer people was because I moved away from the South and was able to transition up in Massachusetts, and there's a very queer forward town who never looked at me twice for being a guy with boobs. So
Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of it is complexified by the geography and living in a state that is not LGBTQ friendly. And I mean, we're not known as the slate of hate for nothing.
Has your child's relationship with gender made you reevaluate your own relationship with gender? If yes, how so?
So I've been bi my whole life, but being married to your dad and being monogamous and coming from a sea of gay people in my family, I just kept my own sexuality under wraps because I was married to a man raising a family, and I wasn't looking to necessarily change that. Even though it wasn't particularly healthy marriage, it was solid, and I was doing what was expected. When I was little, everybody called me a tomboy. On a dime, I've been able to go from high femme all the way down to my most favorite outfit of all time is my jeans and my combat boots and a t-shirt. That's how I feel most like me. And I think your transition and just being in relationship with you all these years has not given me permission, because I've always felt like I had permission, but space to just not care.
Hey guys, so this is my voice, a little bit under 2 months on testosterone.
When did you realize you were transgender?
As soon as I knew what that word meant.
Yeah, I remember you've explained it. You had gone off to college.
Yeah.
That went miserably.
Yeah, that was not great. And then I ended up coming back home from college for a couple months, just deciding that I could not find happiness here at all. So my aunt came down from Massachusetts and asked me if I wanted to move. I didn't know that I was moving into an extremely queer town. Once I learned that the full term was transgender and what that actually meant, it was like a puzzle piece in my brain, and I was like, well, that answers a lot of my questions. What is your advice to those parents who don't agree with their child's gender identity and or sexuality?
You don't have to agree with someone's lived experience to be respectful. If you do what you were called to do in raising them, to be the best human, not best boy, best girl, best human, you don't have a choice.
What about for children that have like religiously driven parents?
I'm not a religious person, I'm a faithful person. Religion is a doctrine, and there's hundreds of religions in the world, and there are thousands of sects in each religion. But to be a person of faith means that I believe my life has purpose, and that includes being the mom of children that has purpose. And so I would say to parents of gay kids, your life has purpose. I do recognize that hormones is a conversation that is really complex. The doctors are doing the best they can, parents are doing the best they can, and children, whether they're able to articulate it or not in words, are doing the best they can. In my most humble opinion, your children were not doled out to you willy-nilly. Your children were given to you as a gift. And realize at the end of the day that you're not called to agree, you're called to love.
What do you worry most about for my future?
This world is not a safe place for transgender people. My greatest fear is that somebody will find you lying in a gutter somewhere and I won't be there. Coming out is going to be something you have to do every day of your life. There's a reason, Logan, why if there's one phrase I hope you always remember besides I love you, safety first. It's exhausting. For people like you, it's a requirement. Do you still experience body dysphoria, or did surgery resolve it for you?
I think I'm going to experience body dysphoria for as long as society makes me feel like I need to experience body dysphoria. I have worked really, really hard to be able to present a comfortable way, but no matter how comfortable I am, as soon as I step out the door, if anybody has anything to say, I have potato chip feelings.
As I understand it, the goal of trans folks is to pass, whatever pass means.
I don't think that anybody looks at me now and knows that I'm trans unless I tell them.
Yeah.
But internally, I know that I'm trans, and I still fear for my safety all the time. On that topic with passing, I don't think trans people transition to pass. I think passing is a cis created term, and to make cis people more comfortable, I think that we all just want to be seen as freaking people, and that's literally it. As a parent of a trans kid, what is the most important thing you want your child to know from you?
What I want you to know is that my life is greatly enriched because you're my child. I am a better human because of raising you. in all the ways that you have challenged me and loved me and hurt me and fill in the blank with me. All of the ways that we have been on the planet together, I'm a better person.
See ya.
Yesterday I thought of you. Smell of wood smoke and berry blooms. Get your jar out, I guess you're picking two. I guess you're picking two.